All right. First and foremost, I'm going to say call hello Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And we're going to jump right into it, man. We're going to give all praise to the Most High God. His name is only begotten Son, who was ignorantly called Jesus Christ. And we're going to go into today, or tonight rather, is integrity, man. We need to have integrity as a people. We need to have soundness. We need to have unrelenting ethics that we won't. How do I say it? That we won't compromise for our emotions, because that's something women lack a lot too. Women lack a lot of just how would I say? I mean, integrity really, because you'll push away what the Bible says just to make yourself feel good in certain situations. It's like your emotions will be over what the Bible says in certain times, and you see that happening with brothers too. But you for the most part, you kind of see that with women. I mean, from my point of view, I'll say that, right? So go ahead and give me Proverbs real quick.
Okay, this is a book of Proverbs, chapter 10 and verse 9 in the NLT.
Okay.
People with integrity walk safely. People with integrity,
right? Walk safely. Go ahead.
But those who follow crooked paths will be exposed.
Those who follow crooked paths will be exposed, right? Now, what is integrity? Let's see what the definition of integrity is before we go into this verse. Let's look at the etymology first. Go ahead. Can you read that
out? Share your screen out. Okay.
Oh, shoot. Let me see. Can you see that?
Can.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is integrity, innocence, blamelessness, chastity, purity. From Old French integrit, or directly from Latin integritarium, notive integritas, soundness, wholeness, completeness.
Yeah, hold up. Stop right there. Soundness, wholeness, and completeness, right? Watch this. Just keep that in mind. Soundness, wholeness, and completeness. We're going to come back to that. Keep going.
Figuratively, purity, correctness, blamelessness.
Blamelessness, right? Blamelessness. No, blamelessness is going into what, right? You can't be faulted for a certain thing. Your reputation is what? Spotless. And that's what we need to be trying to strive for. Try to have integrity, right? Keep going.
From integrity.
Keep going.
Whole, sense of wholeness. Perfect condition.
What?
Perfect condition.
Perfect condition, right? We're going to come right back to that one too. Keep going.
It's mid 15C, that of soundness of moral principle and character, entire uprightness or fidelity, especially in regard to truth and fair dealing.
Truth and fair dealing, right? You have a reputation of dealing in truth, being honest, and dealing fairly, and having a good moral principle and character. Uprightness, right? That's something we need to do. It's something we need to be uncompromising with. We can't compromise. We can't compromise our faith in the Most High God, because really compromising your integrity is an issue of faith as well, and we're going to get into that later. We can't be compromising our integrity because of how we feel, or I feel like, or my opinion is, or how your family treats you. You have to be sound and firm in the doctrine of the Bible, right? That's how we're supposed to live. And Yahweh Shai says the same thing. Get Matthew real fast. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 48.
25 and 48.
5 and 48.
Right. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Now, this is Christ saying, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect, right? Now, let's look at what that word perfect is. Right, how you say that? Teleos? Let's see.
Strong's G 5046. Teleos.
Teleos, right? Hold there real quick.
Okay.
Lord Christ. Right? Teleos. Let's see what that means. Is he brought to its end, finished, wanting nothing, necessary to completeness, perfect, that which is perfect, consummating human integrity and virtue. Integrity and virtue of men, full grown, adult, of full age, and mature, right? Wanting nothing, being perfect, full of integrity and virtue, right? That's how we need to be. That's how we need to be moving. That's how we need to be moving right now as a people. Full of integrity, full of somebody who works with some kind of equity, uncompromising to what the world says, uncompromising to what your family says, uncompromising to basically just Western philosophies, right? Because they push that on us every single place we go. I can't even just sit back and just let my stepkids try to watch a show. Like the first, because I'll step away for a second, and now they have Christmas stuff on. Now they got white Jesus on. Now they got same-sex stuff inside of cartoons now.
Yeah.
And we have to try our damnedest to try to get our kids away from certain things like that. Like you can't even just sit back and relax and just let your kids watch a show without them trying to force something on them. This world is trying to spot our people with a spot and stain our people with the filthiness of this world. That's why we need to walk in integrity, and the only way we're going to do that is by actually taking heed to the scriptures, namely the law. Right now, go ahead and give me 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 61. Because Christ said, "Be ye therefore perfect." Watch this.
You want it?
1 Kings 8 and 61.
8:61. 1 Kings chapter 8 and verse 61. Let your heart therefore be perfect with the Lord, our God.
Right there. Let your heart therefore be perfect with the Lord. Let's see what the word perfect means right there in the Hebrew. Shalom. Let's see what that is. Complete, safe, peaceful, perfect, whole, full at peace. Complete. It's the same thing. Perfect. Complete. Be perfect with the Lord by doing what? Finish the verse out.
Slug. 8:61. It was let your heart therefore be perfect with the Lord our God, to walk in his statutes and to keep his commandments as it is this day.
That's how you make yourself perfect. That's how you make yourself your mind and the way you move perfect with the Lord, whole and complete, and with virtue is by keeping the commandments. Now, when we push aside the commandment, just say, I'll give you a perfect example. How some people talk about Christmas, right? We're just doing it for the kids,
right?
Is the kids your God? Is your kids going to save you? Is pleasing your kids worth more than pleasing the Most High God? No, it isn't. You're compromising your virtues. You're compromising what the world is. Give me Romans chapter 12, verse 1.
This is Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
Wait, hold up. Present yourself holy, right? Holy and set apart. We have to be holy and set apart. I mean, those words are really synonymous. That's actually going into the definition of being holy. Now, we need to be set apart from what? The world, because the world teaches you everything contrary to the Lord. America, like I say this all the time, America says it's okay to cheat on your husband. America says it's okay to celebrate literally every holiday ever.
Right.
Worship any type of God, to be disobedient to your husband, to be terrible to your wife. Like America teaches you all these things. That's what, and what is an America an extension of? The world. And who's the ruler of this world? Goddamn Satan, bro. That's his. Go ahead and keep going.
Verse 2. And be not conformed to this world.
And conform, right? Fashion. That's what going into conform means. Fashion or molded by what? The world. Go ahead.
But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good. Prove
what is that good, right? It says to the matter of fact, read that verse again.
Okay, this is Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect.
That good and acceptable and what?
And perfect.
And perfect, right? That's that soundness, that's that virtue, that's that integrity. Go ahead.
Will of God.
Perfect will of God. Get Romans chapter 2, verse 18. Let's see in context that will of God that Paul is talking about.
Okay, this is Romans 2 and verse 18. And know is his will.
Oh, it's his will, God's will. Go ahead.
And approve is the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law.
Instructed out of the what?
Out of the law.
Instructed out of the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. Keeping these law, statutes, and commandments is our moral, should be our moral compass as Israelites, because it wasn't given to everybody. The God set apart Israel to give us the law, statutes, and commandments so we can walk in his love, to walk in his guidance, and to show us to be, give me Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5, to make us and distinguish us from everybody else. And it's going to say that in this verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Go ahead.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
So the Lord set us apart to give us wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. He didn't do that to everybody else. This is our wisdom. This is our virtue. This is our soundness that we need to walk in, uncompromising. We cannot compromise to the world. We can't be fastened to the world. We can't be conformed to this world. This world teaches you everything opposite of a commandment, literally opposite of a commandment. So we need to be steadfast and firm in this word. Now let's go back into another definition of integrity. Right? Read this real quick, guys. Let me see. Let me share my screen again.
Okay.
All right, read that.
Okay, integrity. Firm adherence to a code of especially moral or artistic values.
So read that again.
Firm adherence to a code of especially moral or artistic values.
So firm adherence to a code. What's our code being, Israelites? The law, statutes, and commandments. We have to be firm. That means you're not compromising. That means you're not compromising nothing. If the Lord said it, there's no what I feel. This is my opinion. Well, I feel that. Well, that's the old way. This is the code that the Most High God set out for us. This is the virtue that we're supposed to have. This is the soundness and uprightness we're supposed to be walking in. This is what the Lord set out for us. Hold on, let me stop this echo. That is killing me. Let me see. Okay. That's that uprightness we're supposed to be walking in, right? Keep going to the next one.
Incorruptibility. Number 2, an unimpaired condition. Soundness. 3, the quality or state of being complete or undivided. Completeness.
Complete and undivided, right? And you see that because we get the law, statutes, and commandments. We get the actual compass of how we should be moving in life. But when we start adding into the world, we end up being divided upon ourselves. We get divided upon the world. Hold on real quick. Salak. Be right back.
Okay.
Where we at? Right now, go to let me show you this one right here. Get the synonyms.
Okay, synonyms and antonyms for integrity. Synonyms: character, decency, goodness, honesty, morality, probity, rectitude, righteousness.
Right, what?
righteousness.
Righteousness. Doesn't Deuteronomy 6 say it'll be our righteousness if we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments? Keep going.
Rightness, uprightness, virtue, virtuousness.
Virtuousness, right? That's the matter of fact. Read this too. I forgot about this.
Which the choose to write synonym?
Yeah.
I mean synonym for integrity, honesty, honor, integrity, property, mean uprightness of character or action.
See, uprightness and character and action, right? That goes into what people know you by. Because people can say that they're Israelites all day. People will say they keep the law, statutes, commandments, but what happens? People get exposed. Go back to that verse I just showed you in Proverbs 10 and verse
9. You want it on the NLT?
Yeah, read it NLT.
Okay. This is Proverbs 10 and verse 9. It says, "People with integrity walk safely."
People with integrity walk safely because why? You don't have to worry about your character being shown to be a liar or a hypocrite. Go ahead.
But those who follow crooked paths will be exposed.
Shall be what?
Will be exposed.
Be exposed. So integrity not only goes into how people look at you, but it's also how you carry yourself when nobody's watching. While nobody's watching, what are you doing? While you're not around the camp, what are you doing? When you're not around your Israelite brothers, what are you doing? If you walk by crooked ways, eventually you're going to get exposed. Eventually, you're going to be a person. You're going to be a person that nobody even like cares about or cares to learn from, because why? You get exposed because you walk by crooked paths. We need to have steadfast, upright virtue in our people, bro. Uncompromising, according to what the law says. Now, give me Sirach chapter 32, verse 24, because we're going to show how this is a faith issue. Really, because when you compromise, you keeping the law because of somebody, or because of your feelings, or because of your emotions, you show a lack of faith in the Most High God, because you don't believe that He's going to judge you. That's matter of fact. Hold that. Give me Hebrews chapter 11. Verse I believe it's verse 6.
Right, that's right. Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please Him.
And without faith, it's impossible to please Him, to please the Most High. Go ahead.
For he that cometh to God must believe that He is.
So you have to believe that He exists, or He is. They even going into His name, Yahweh, in the Hebrew. Go ahead.
And that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him.
Like He's a rewarder of him that diligently seeks Him. Actually seeks the Most High God. You have to believe that. So if you believe that, you have to believe what? The inverse. You have to believe. You have to believe what? He's somebody who diligently kills you when you decide to transgress His law. It's not a two. The Lord is perfectly balanced. Like how a false balance is an abomination to the Lord in Proverbs chapter 11, and how it says, what was that in Isaiah, where it says, I create lightness, I create light, and I create the dark. He's perfectly balanced. You have to believe in your heart of hearts, like you say, like people say, you have to believe in your heart of hearts that He will judge you if you transgress the law. You have to believe that, man, I go to my family's house, that Thanksgiving dinner looks really, really good. Maybe the Lord ain't gonna see me. You know what I mean? That's how people say. Man, my camp's not in front of me. They're not gonna know I ate this. But who sees that? The Lord sees that, and He's gonna judge you for it. That's how you show. That's how people's faith is getting challenged. What are you doing when people is not watching? Because the Lord's gonna judge you for that. Give me.
Yeah, they got the angels recording.
Because that's His eyes. Give me what I want. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13.
Ecclesiastes 12.
And then we're gonna jump back.
Okay. You need 12 from the top.
12 and 13.
Slug.
Read the 14.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. That's
your whole duty, man. That's your whole job as an Israelite of being on the planet. keep the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what He's set apart to give you, right? Now, going into what I was saying before is like, what are you doing when people are not watching you, right? Read the next verse.
Verse 14. For God shall bring every work into judgment.
He's going to do what?
Bring every work into judgment.
He's going to bring every work into judgment. What? Read the next verse.
With every secret thing.
With every what?
With every secret thing.
Now, I'll say it like this. When you niggas went to your family's house, because the whole family's there for Thanksgiving, and you thought just because your brothers didn't see you eat that plate of food, that doesn't mean the Most High God is going to judge you for it. Like the Most High is gonna come. Like they think they're safe just because their brothers don't see you. You think you're safe just because somebody's not catching you in act. Aren't you an Israelite? I thought y'all don't believe in Thanksgiving. Like you think you're safe, but the Most High God is gonna bring that into judgment. Keep going.
Right. Whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Whether it be good or whether it be evil. Right. Now let's go back to Sirach chapter 32.
Okay. This is Sirach.
To show that this is really a faith thing. When you compromise, when you are in this truth, because this is more for somebody who's in the truth. If you're in the truth, right, and you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and you have the integrity to think like I need to do this and to do that because the Lord says so, I'm not going to compromise this. When you think that you can just get away with things because nobody's around, you're really showing a lack of faith in the Lord. That's why we went to Hebrews chapter 11. Now go to this.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 32 and verse, I'm gonna start at 23. In every good work trust thy own soul, for this is the keeping of the commandments.
In every good work, in every good work trust thine own soul, for this is the keeping of the commandments, keeping the law. Go ahead.
He that believeth in the Lord.
If you believe in the Lord, if you say you have faith in the Lord, you do what?
Take it heed to the commandments.
You take a heed to the commandments. You actually keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So if you say you believe in the Lord and you go hang out with your family on Thanksgiving because the whole family is there, and you go eat that food and none of your Israelite brothers seen you, you're showing you don't believe in the Lord. Because you obviously don't, because if you believed in him, you would think like, oh, he's gonna kill me for this. I've committed idolatry. Come on, man. Matter of fact, read that verse again.
This is Sirach chapter 32 and verse 24. He that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment, and he that trusted in him shall fear never the worst.
What?
Shall fear never the worst.
Shall fear never the worst. It goes back to what we said in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 9, right? When you walk by crooked ways, you're bound to get exposed. That's what's going to happen to you. And if you actually keep the law, statutes, and commandments and have that virtue and that character and that upright soundness of heart, that won't happen. You don't have to worry about that. You'll fare never the worst. You don't have to worry about that judgment coming and worrying about, did the Lord see me eat that pork chop sandwich? Did the Lord see me eat that Baconator sandwich? You don't have to worry about that if you do what you're supposed to be doing. Now give me James chapter 2, verse 18. That shows you right there. It's when you compromise that, you're showing you don't have faith. It's a faith issue.
James chapter 2. And you want to start at 14?
Verse 18.
Verse 18. Okay, this is James chapter 2 and verse 18. Yeah, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Shew me thy faith without thy works.
Show me your faith without your works. Show me, because you said it's really a rhetorical thing. Show me your faith without works. If you don't have any works, you don't believe in the Lord. You're not in this truth. If you don't keep the law, statutes, commandments, you're not in this truth. Because what is the truth? The law, statutes, and commandments, like I says in Psalms. It said that righteousness is that righteousness of everlasting righteousness, and their laws is truth.
That's right.
If you don't operate in the law, statutes, commandments, you're not operating in the truth, right? So show me that faith without that works. Go ahead.
And I will shew thee my faith by my works.
We're gonna show our faith by our works, because I believe Yahweh is Al Shadja. I believe he's a great and terrible God. I believe that he will kill me if I break the Sabbath and don't give a damn. I feel like he will kill me if I eat a pork chop sandwich. I feel like he'll kill me if I celebrate Christmas, Easter, what have you, man. When I transgress the law, statute, commandments, I've actual genuine fear that the Lord will. I'll give you a perfect example, right? Like in the world, I used to smoke weed, right? I came into this truth. I think I smoked weed one time. One more time after that when I actually started being a practicing Israelite. I was scared out of my mind. I thought I wasn't making it home that day, bro. I thought the Most High God was going to kill me. I thought literally the Most High God was going to end my life that night, bro. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but that's genuine fear. I was literally afraid that the Most High God will kill me, and we have to stay in that. We have to stay operating in that.
That's right.
If we stay operating in that fear, we won't break the law because we know. Right. I mean, it's such a simple thing. I don't understand how people will come to that conclusion. But keep going.
Verse 19. Thou believest that there is one God, that doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. Verse 20. But what thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead.
Faith without works is what?
Is dead.
Faith without works is dead. It's worthless. If you said like anybody who's saying they believe in sweet Jesus, falling out in the church, but you don't keep the law, statute, commandments, you don't believe. It's dead. You're shucking and jiving, and you're gonna shuck and jive into a goddamn missile, bro. And you deserve it. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Was not Abraham our father justified by works?
He was what?
Justified by works.
Justified by works. Go ahead.
When he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar.
And hold up right there, right? Stop right there. That's showing you a perfect example of not compromising your virtue and not compromising your integrity. Abraham believed in the Lord. He did what he was supposed to be doing. When the Lord told him to offer up your only child, like at the time, your only child that mattered, right?
Right.
and offer him as a sacrifice, he didn't argue with the Lord. He didn't say, "Oh, I just think that." He didn't say, "Oh, that's your opinion," or whatever, bro. He just literally willingly submitted to the Lord. That was a work. He didn't compromise his value. Because give me hold that. We're coming right back to that. Give me Matthew chapter 10, verse 37.
Okay.
Give me Matthew chapter 10, verse 37. Because I asked this dude at work. I said, "Would you give up pork? Would you give up pork if it meant that your children could live, and you could live? Like, say somebody holding a gun up to you and your kids, and it's saying like, if you stop eating pork right now, I will let y'all live." He said, "Yeah." I said, "But what about?" I said, "What about if the Bible says it?" "Well, who wrote that? I don't know who." And what's funny when it comes down to keeping the law, statute, commandments, they'll ask me who wrote the Bible, but they'll say they believe in the Lord. Faith without works is dead, bro. That's how you know that people actually aren't in this truth. Who wrote that? First of all, who wrote the articles that y'all niggas read? Who wrote the history books that you read in school and vigorously studied to pass? Who wrote that? Like these niggas saying, were you there in 1776? But y'all gladly just quote every type of historical fact about America. Were you there? Y'all only do that with the Bible because niggas don't want to be rebuked. That's the answer.
Yep.
But go ahead and give me that, Matthew.
This is Matthew chapter 10 and verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
Keep going.
And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
So if you love your family members, and this is crazy. Yahweh Shai is actually showing you the people who probably would matter the most to you, your children and your parents. If you love them and respect their word over the Lord, I'm not calling Yahweh Shai literally Yahweh, but I'm saying if you love them over the Lord, you're not worthy of the Lord. Like you're not. Because matter of fact, what did Paul say? Like if I seek to be pleased, I'm gonna paraphrase it. If I seek to be pleased of men, I can't be a servant to the Lord. So if you're doing so, I'm doing it for the kids, and I want the kids to have a good time. Like I'm gonna say it like this, man. Damn them kids, bro.
Yeah.
To be honest, if I have to transgress the law, statutes, commandments, even commit sins worthy of death to please the kid, damn the kids, bro. Do you want to be saved or do you not want to be saved? That's all it boils down to. Do you want to be saved? Do you want to do what the Lord? Do you want to do what the Lord says, or do you want to play games and die? Read that verse again. Start 37 again.
Matthew 10 and verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
Mm-hmm.
And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Now watch this. Go back to James.
You want where I left off?
Come.
Okay, James chapter 2 and verse 21. Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar?
He was justified by works when he offered his son up to the altar, Salak, right? Now, if you actually read that in Genesis, he didn't even say, well, I feel like, well, that's my only son, God. He didn't make any type of excuses. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to kill my only son. That's how the Lord wants you to be. You can't compromise your integrity for nothing or no one. You either want to be saved or you want to die. You either want to be on a chariot or you want the second death. You either want a crown or you want to miss it. That's all it is. If you compromise your integrity, as a matter of fact, if anybody understands that word, right? You understand something about like structural integrity. Like when you have a house, Razan, I forgot what you did, what you do for a living. But you ever worked on a house?
Yeah, I'm working on my house now.
Oh,
well, earlier today I was.
Yeah. Do you know something about structural integrity?
Well, you're talking about the foundation of the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, structural integrity. Once you start breaking up that foundation and actually letting little cracks, just like say like a crack starts happening on like a support beam in your house,
right?
You're messing with the structural integrity of it, and eventually, once you allow so much stuff to go through and let so much stuff slip and slide, what's going to happen? That house is going to give way. Even in the similitude in the Bible, in multiple places, we're similitudes to houses. So once you start letting things slip and slide through your lack of integrity, what's going to happen? You're going to collapse upon yourself and die, bro.
That's right.
It's crazy how that word works. You see that we don't really pay attention. I'll say it like this, bro. I said that word at work the other day, and some people didn't even know what the word integrity meant. Like you stand for something, and it's funny that they do that because they don't stand for anything anyway. It's just ironic, but like people don't understand words, bro. Like I've been thinking about this like for the last week for people I deal with on a regular, people I deal with in the house, people I deal with out in the world. Does anybody actually fathom what integrity is? Do you fathom like how much integrity the prophets had, the actual people in Israel who were righteous, and what did they do to get this amount of honor and uprightness? They were uncompromising to the law. They were uncompromising in their faith. They were uncompromising to what the world was telling them, even their captors. So that's the type of mentality we need to be moving in, uncompromising to what the world says. Keep going in James.
Okay, verse 22. Seest thou how faith wrought with his works? And by works was faith made perfect.
Is made what?
Made perfect.
Made perfect, whole, complete.
Right.
The same thing we've been talking about. It's whole and complete. That's what perfection is. Whole and complete. And it's all wrapped up into the same thing, virtue, which is all wrapped up into what? Integrity. That's what we need to be walking in. Integrity, unmovable, steadfast. Give me that in 1 Corinthians 15. I believe it's 58. Steadfast and unmovable.
$15
and 58.
58. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 58. Mm-hmm. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable.
Steadfast and unmovable. That's firm on what you believe in. Come on the Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. The whole family's here. Y'all, you don't never see the whole family anymore. The whole family's gonna be here. No, no, Mom, I don't believe in Christmas. I don't believe in things. I don't believe in celebrating the genocide of my people on Thanksgiving. Oh, y'all Israelites out there, y'all just want, you know what I mean? I'm used to hearing that, bro. It's coming as truth. You hear that every time.
Yeah.
You can sacrifice one day to come see your whole family. No, that could be the one time. That could be your last portion of grace, and then the Most High God kill your ass, bro. You can say what you say.
I was gonna say, and it's crazy because like, well, I've been in the truth about a year and some change now.
Yeah.
And every year, well, I know last year I told them like I'm not dealing with that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year they asked me again like if this year just changed, you know. I'm like, hey, you're gonna, you know, was that just a last year thing? Like, no, it's, you know, this is something we gotta, like you were saying, we gotta stay on it.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta stay on top of it.
Yeah, you gotta be steadfast on move. We gotta be firm, bro. You gotta be firm. Like you know, I say he's firm on the price. Like he ain't changing that price, man.
Yeah,
I'm not changing what I believe in. I'm this. I mean, this ain't no like. I remember this one dude when I first came into the truth. He said, "Oh yeah, he's just on a fad. he's just a fad. He's putting on them garments, yellow white folks, and then next year he's gonna be on something else." No, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not dealing with that, bro. I'm literally steadfast on the law and the faith of the Lord, which is all wrapped up into the same thing.
That's right.
Is there any more on that verse?
Con.
What?
Always abounding in the work of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord.
Is what?
Is not. Let me read that again. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Our
labor is not in vain in the Lord. Now, when you look at what Yahweh told the men of Israel, specifically his disciples, he told them to go out on the highways and byways. That's what we do every day, faithfully, every single week, faithfully, bro. And that labor isn't in vain to me. Even when we go out there and it's so cold, we be out there like in blistering one person, but that labor ain't in vain because we building up treasures in heaven, bro.
That's right.
And once we build up enough, we gonna be what? Saved out of this place.
Lord willing.
It's not in vain. And once we start, and that's why I harp too much on virtue and integrity, because once you start keeping that mentality, you won't fall out of this truth unless the Most I want you to. But like, but the people who are staying steadfast in this truth is the people having that same mentality. They're like, I have to do this. I get really zealous. I have to be zealous to get out of this place. If I do nothing, I sit on my hands. Some people just sit on their hands, just make videos. Like I'm not gonna get out of this place, bro. Your week is not complete unless you have camp. Go to 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 18. Let's get some more. Not compromising their integrity.
So 2 Maccabees
6 and 18.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 18. Mm-hmm. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth.
Constrained meaning forced to open his mouth. Go ahead.
And to eat swine's flesh.
So they're making him eat swine's flesh. Who was making him? The Grecians. Let's prove that. Go to verse 1.
Verse 1.
He said there's a lot of feedback. Hold that real quick. Let me see if I can. I know it's got to be my phone. If I can get that. Let me see something. Yeah, I'm just gonna just do it like this. It's got to be my phone. I'm just gonna get camera. But yeah, I'm just gonna do it like this. Go back to second Ezra, not second Ezra, second Maccabees.
Second Maccabees.
Yeah.
You wanted 6 and 1.
6 and 1.
Okay. The second Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers, and not to live after the laws of God.
So they're constraining us to not live after the laws of God, constraining us to be just like them and the other rest of the heathen. Go ahead.
Verse 2, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers.
Call it the temple of damn planets and Greek gods, bro. Just call it that. Like that's like crazy. You know how crazy that is. The temple of the Lord of Lords, right? Call it the Greek gods temple. Madness. Jump to verse 6.
Verse 10, you said?
6.
Oh, verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Profess himself at all to be Jew and do what? Keep going.
And in the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept,
that's modern day Mardi Gras. Go ahead.
Was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, carrying ivy.
Now go to verse 9.
Verse 9, and whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles.
This is us becoming Gentiles. These are the Israelites who are going to be receiving salvation in the New Testament. These are the Israelites, not because people like to just jump and say the Gentiles in the New Testament is the northern kingdom. It's specifically talking about the Jews, the southern kingdom that got scattered off. Now, Christ's death is specifically for Israelites, all Israelites scattered on the world. But these Gentiles that Paul went to are the Israelites who were under the Greek captivity, and these were one of them. These were them specifically. Now keep going. Actually, matter of fact, go to verse 18 because we know what was happening right now. The Greeks are forcing them to be what? Become like the Gentiles, forcing them to become like Grecians. That's what we're calling ourselves, Greeks. That's Hellenistes. We're making ourselves to be just like them, just like how we do in America. Now go to verse 18.
Okay, second Maccabees 6 and 18. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh.
So they were trying to force him to break the laws of God and to eat swine's flesh. Keep going.
But he, choosing rather to die gloriously.
See, now Eleazar said, damn all that, bro. He said, damn all that. I'm not about to break the law of God.
He said, I'd rather die.
I'd rather die than break the law of God. That's somebody not compromising their integrity. Damn what the world talking. I don't care if y'all trying to kill me. Damn all that, bro. I'm not about to break the law of God. Why? Because I have respect unto him. I fear the Lord God. If I'm sitting here being somebody who's an aged man, I know the scripture. I know what the prophets say. I know that the Israelites who break the law, statutes, commandments are going to die. Doing such things get you put to death. Why? And I actually believe that and fear that the Lord is going to do that. Why would I eat some pork because some heathens trying to threaten my life? Didn't Howard said, don't worry about what I'm paraphrasing. Don't worry about what man. Don't worry about the man who can kill you. Worry about the man who can kill you and then destroy your soul, man. I'm paraphrasing it, but we know what scripture I'm talking about. The one Yahweh said. He worried about that man, and that man is Yahweh.
And can I add something to it?
Okay.
And I was gonna say, and this isn't one of the commandments that will be put to death. You know what I'm saying? It will be unclean, and he wouldn't eat it. He would rather die.
Yeah,
so even the least of the commandments.
For real. What's that? He posted at 10. Matthew, get Matthew 10 and 28 real quick. I think that's
Matthew 10 and verse 28. Okay, this is Matthew 10 and verse 28.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one.
And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul.
Because these Edomites, they can try to force you to eat pork and try to force you to break the law, statutes, commandments. Oh, they can kill you because of that, but they can't kill your soul. Keep going.
Right. But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
Kill both soul and body in hell, right? What's hell? We know it's going into Sheol, which is the grave. That's death.
Right.
So the Lord can kill you, put you to death, and in your soul. He has the power to do that. Because he's going to do that with the Edomites. He even says that in Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18. Okay. He's going to end the Edomites. Their existence will be eradicated from the earth. He has the power to do that. So I'm not about to be worried about some heathens who can just kill me. Damn all that. Give me that in Revelations 2 and 10.
Okay, I got you.
Then we're going back to 2 Maccabees.
Okay, this is Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death.
Be thou what?
Faithful unto death.
Be thou faithful unto death, and what are you going to get?
And I will give thee a crown of life.
So that's cool if you want to try to kill me if I don't want to eat no pork. I stayed faithful to my God. I didn't compromise my integrity for your love and to live on this damn place, man. I don't care about that. I'm not compromising what I believe in to be afraid of some Edomites. I'm not compromising what I believe in to be afraid of anybody. That's the true faith. That's the true faith of the Lord. That's you showing your faith evidently that you're willing to die for this truth. You're willing to die you're willing to die for the code, man. And a lot of niggas ain't trying to die for the code, even for this fake ass code that they be having with gangsters, man. You know, right. niggas ain't trying to go. Anybody trying to ride out their sentence.
Yeah.
Now he's like, you seen First 48, bro. When a nigga got his head down for the commercial break, you know when the commercial give him off a break, nigga about to tell it all, bro. That's what happens, bro.
Every time, man.
Every time. So if we're gonna follow a code and die for a code, let that be the law, bro. Let that be the faith of the Lord. Let that be let that be this, bro. Let it be something that's worthy of death, of dying for. Now go back to 2 Maccabees.
Okay, 2 Maccabees 6 and 19. But he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination.
With what? He said stained.
Yes, than to live stained with such an abomination.
So that would what? Compromise his integrity. This is supposed to be a respected man. This is supposed to be somebody who's known to keep the law. What does it say in Sicarii? Give thee to a godly man who thou knowest to keep the law, statute, commandments. This is a godly man. You know him to keep the law, statute, commandments. Why would he stain his reputation and throw away everything he built by compromising his integrity to eat some pork to save his life? You live the rest of your life a coward and somebody who sold out your God. Go ahead. Matter of fact, because it says stain. Hold that real quick. Give me James chapter 1.
Come on.
And 27.
This is James chapter 1 and verse 27. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world.
Keep himself what from the world?
And to keep himself unspotted from the world.
Keep yourself unspotted from the world. You cannot be spotted from the. You can't. That's not pure religion in the Lord. You mixing in worldly stuff. You being worldly behind closed doors. You're spotting yourself and putting a stain on yourself. Not like it don't even have to just be to other people, but to the Lord. Then what people think, I care about what the Lord says, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what pure religion is, a pure worship of the Lord. Now we can go back to Maccabees.
2 Maccabees 6 and 19. But he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth, and came of his own accord to the torment.
He said, y'all niggas gonna just kill me. He said, look, man, He said, I said, look, man, I'm not about to eat that pork. You know, you seen Boondocks?
Yeah.
You remember that part where Riley said, F you, F the queen, yuck Mac. He said, F Alexander, F Greece. Y'all language don't even make no damn sense.
Yeah.
You messed up the damn temple, bro. He said, I ain't about to eat this pork. Y'all niggas gonna just kill me, bro.
Yeah, he said, I ain't doing this, man.
He said, I ain't about it. Go ahead.
Verse 20, as it behoved them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted.
Which is talking about the law. It's not lawful for us to be eating pork. Go ahead.
But they that had the charge of the wicked feast, for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use.
So check this out, right? They said, like, okay, if you don't want to eat that pork, fine. We're gonna bring you some food and disguise it as pork. It's gonna be lawful, but we're gonna just disguise it as pork. They did that specifically so when they see him doing it, when they see him making it look like he's eating pork, everybody else is gonna follow because he's a well-respected man. Just like what they're probably gonna do with this shot. They're gonna start getting celebrities to take it. They got all these people who's respected to take. Matter of fact, I saw a meme. I'm gonna say it's a meme. I don't want to believe it's real. It's a old Jake taking the shot, him saying like, we're trying to undo what happened with the Tuskegee experiments. bro, it's just like, bro, man, they gave us syphilis. They gave our people syphilis and did some cruel experiments on us because they didn't want to do it on white people.
Yeah,
that's like, come on, bro. So now you're gonna.
Makes sense though, because I mean they're trying to push it right on so-called blacks and Hispanics. I mean, they're saying we're the ones get sick.
They said literally. There's a quote. It said the blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans needed the most.
Right.
I was like, wow, bro. And then right after that, somebody got the shot on live and died on live. But we need that the most. You're trying to kill us. We need death the most.
That's what they're doing, man.
That's madness, right? So read verse 21 again.
Okay.
Oh, to the part where it said of his own provision.
Okay. Besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and make it as if he did eat of the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king.
So make it look like it's pork, but it's not pork. It's lawful for you to eat. And matter of fact, hold up, right? So make it look as lawful for you to eat, but it's lawful. I mean, make it look like you're eating unlawful food, but you're eating lawful food. So really worry about yourself. It's like, yeah, I'm okay. I can not break the law, but I don't care about my people, so I'm gonna make it look like I eat pork just so I can save my own self. Just like what a lot of people be doing, bro. Like,
yeah.
You see
what they say? Every man for his own.
Every man for his own self, bro. But he didn't do that because part of his integrity is not only love for his God, but love for his people. Matter of fact, give me Matthew chapter 22. Let's get the two greatest commandments. Let's use that properly, not like how Christians use it. Matter of fact, Christian uses everything in the Bible improperly, bro. Let's just say it like that. Get 22 and start at 35.
35, right? This is Matthew chapter 22 and verse 35. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahweh said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart.
Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy mind. Go ahead.
And with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment.
That's the first and great commandment. Out of everything you could do, love the Lord thy God with all that heart, with all that soul, with all that mind. You have to love the Lord. You have to have fear of the Lord, which is what? Keeping the commandments. Like it says in 1 John chapter 5, verse 3, and Deuteronomy chapter 10. Keep going.
Verse 39. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
You shall do what?
Love thy neighbor as thyself.
Love your neighbor as yourself. Now, since he had virtue and integrity, he loved the Lord with all his heart by not eating that fake pork and making his people go off. He had love towards his people. He loved the Lord and had love towards people, because had he ate that and just trying to save his own self and not go off, all of his, probably not all of his nation, but it would set a bad example for Israelites for them to go off. That's not love to your neighbor. These are keeping both of these commandments. Go ahead. Read the next verse.
On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
Because what? The whole Bible teaches you this. The whole Bible, first and foremost, teaches you to love the Lord. If you were Israelite, this is how you became a nation. This is who you descended from. These are the law, statute, commandments that put you over everybody. Here's the promises of the things that's going to happen to you. Believe in me, and I'll do this for you. That's once you believe in him, you love the Lord with all your heart. Now, the second one is to love your neighbor. Who's your neighbor? And a fellow Israelite, like how you see in Leviticus chapter 19. It shows that the Bible gives us something to stand on, some kind of moral value, to be civil towards each other, and to actually truly have faith in the God we say we believe in. That's what the whole Bible teaches. That's why these two things these two commandments hang all along the prophets. Now let's go back to 2 Maccabees.
Okay. 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 22. That in so doing he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereunto he was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law, made and given by God.
The holy law made and given before God. He thought about his age. He thought about his accomplishments. He thought about what kind of character he made himself out to be in Israel. And he thought about the law. He thought about all those things. And what did he do?
Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straight ways to send him to the grave.
He said, damn all that. Y'all niggas gonna just kill me, bro, because I ain't doing it.
Yep.
I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it, bro. I'm not doing it. But go ahead.
For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think the Eliezer. Hold on. Slug, man. Slug. Let me read that over for verse 24. For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 10, were now gone to a strange religion. And so they
turn aside to what the Greeks were talking about. Go ahead.
And so they, through mine hypocrisy, and desire to live a little time and a moment longer.
He threw his hypocrisy because he would have been made out to be a hypocrite, because he's supposed to be a real respected person, somebody who's known to be keeping the commandments all of his life. He's got gray hair, so he's an old age man who built up this character of virtue and integrity. What would it look like if this guy at the very end of his life started just, I'm just gonna eat this pork because I don't want to die. That's basically that would make yourself be born in vain. You did all that just to get put to death.
Right.
Go ahead.
Should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to mine old age, and make it abominable. For though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men.
Yet, right now I'll be delivered from death if I eat this pork. Go ahead.
Yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty.
You said what?
Yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty.
You're not going to escape the hand of the Almighty. The Lord going to get you. Just like how we said in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 14. He's going to bring into a judgment every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. In this case, it will be evil. The Most High going to judge you, man. Your second time around, your next time around going to be what? You don't even know, because he could just get you. He could get you real bad, bro. You see kids being 5 years old walking down the street, straight bullet hit him. Some born with just a torso. Some born dumb, like as in not literally like wisdom wise dumb, but you can't speak. Like some things like that can happen because you wanted to live a certain live a little bit early, live a little bit longer out of fear of the man, specifically the white man. That's why a lot of Jake is about to get tried. Right? We're going to see who gonna actually be in this truth, bro. Because you see Esau tripping. It's Esau and Esau time right now. They're going to the Capitol. Black Lives Matter, bro. You see, Eve stole off on Becky.
Yeah. Broke her nose, huh?
Eve stole off on Becky, bro. That was funny, bro. I was dead. I was like, finally. Right? They stole off on Becky, bro. That was great. That was a good time, man. But go back to where we was at.
It says, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead. Wherefore now, manfully changing this life, I will shew myself such and one as mine age requireth. And leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws.
This is to leave a notable example. That's why we're reading about him in Maccabees. You're not reading about literally every Israelite in the book of Maccabees. You're not reading about that, but we're gonna read about Eleazar because he said, "Damn all that, I ain't about to do that. Y'all niggas are just gonna have to kill me because my integrity is not gonna allow me to continue to be afraid of the so-called white man and y'all's dumb laws. Like, damn all that. I'm about to keep the laws of God."
That's right.
Keep going.
And it says, and when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment. They that led him changing the good, they bear him a little before into hatred, because the aforesaid speeches proceeded, and they thought from a desperate mind. But when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, it is manifested unto the Lord that hath the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pain in my body by being beaten.
Because it's manifest to the Lord means the Lord sees this right now. He's seeing me stand stiffly for his word. He sees me trying to keep his law, statutes, and commandments. He sees me not turning and compromising my virtue, compromising my integrity, so I can live. Like I'm gonna go to this. Like I'm not running away from it. Go ahead.
It says, but in soul am well content to suffer these things, because I fear him. And thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a noble courage, and a memorial of virtue, not only unto young men, but unto all his nation.
Into all his nation. That's why we're reading about him right now. This dude said this. You had the so-called white man pull up on him, said you can't be a Jew no more, and on top of that, destroy your temple, then try to make you into a Gentile and say you're gonna eat this pork or you're gonna die. And Eleazar said, "No, I'm not down with that. I'm not about to be spotted by the world. I'm not about to conform to what y'all niggas is talking about. No, it's either I'm gonna keep the law, statutes, and commandments, or y'all niggas are gonna have to kill me. That's me believing in the Lord, and that's what we need to be thinking about now. We need to be that's the type of mindset we need to be thinking on, uncompromising our will, not compromising our will to what America says, not compromising our will to what the so-called white man says, or your children, or your wives, or your boss, your friends, your family. Don't compromise that. Be conformed to what the Lord says, be conformed to the image of his son. Let's just say it like that. Romans chapter 8, verse 20, is that 29? Get that real quick. We got to be conformed to the image of the son. Because we don't know if we're the elect, right? None of us know that we're the elect that's going to be saved. But what I will say is, I know what the elect's going to be doing, and I damn well is going to do my damnedest to be doing that same thing so I can be the elect, bro. So I have a chance to be. Go ahead and get that.
That's right. This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 29. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren.
Right, so he conformed these people who he foreknow, because there's no free will in the Bible. Like, you may think you're making choices, but the Lord already orchestrated what's going to happen before it happens. He predestinated these certain people, or the elect in this case, to be conformed to the image of the son. What does that mean? Conform means to change or transform, be molded into the image of the son. That doesn't mean everybody's gonna look like Yahweh Shai. That means you're gonna be having the same moral righteousness like how Yahweh Shai had. Matter of fact, I'll prove that. Real quick. Can you see my screen? I'm gonna get that in Romans 8. Let's look at that word image. It's icon. Read this one.
Okay, it says the image of the Son of God, into which true Christians are transformed, is likeness not only to the heavenly body, but also to the most holy and blessed state of mind, which the Mashiach possesses.
The blessed state of mind which Mashiach possesses, right? Those who are actually of Christ, the true Christians, those who actually follow what Yahweh Shai did and said. We have to honor him in word and in deed. Now, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse, give me that real quick. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21, that's Christ leaving us an example that we'll do what? Matter of fact, before we get there, can you read this real quick? He's it. Where's that? And if you can hear me, leave and come back. I'll go ahead and read it. Leave and come back if you can hear me. It says, but to Christ on account of his divine nature and absolute moral excellence. Moral excellence. That's virtue. That's integrity. You have the same integrity of Yahweh Shai. Razan, you still there? Yeah, man, you have to leave and come back. I'm gonna get you out. Just leave and come back. Let me see. Now I'm gonna go to 1 Peter real quick. Right. This is 1 Peter chapter 1, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Hamashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. We should follow his steps, who did no sin. What does that mean? He didn't break the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. Who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. So if we're supposed to follow the same example as Yahweh Shai and be conformed to his image or his moral likeness, we're going to do what he did, not transgress the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. Oh, you sure you back on it? Let's see. Say something.
Slog, man, it dropped me. I don't know.
Okay. Let me see. Where was we at? Give me.
Yeah, you already got 1 Peter, right?
Yeah, I already read it.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me Daniel chapter 3.
Daniel chapter 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start at verse 8. We're gonna jump around because it's a lot.
Okay, come on. This is Daniel chapter 3 and verse 8. Wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image.
So he made a decree saying that everybody has to. And when you hear this music going on, all his instruments, you need to bow down to this God, this image. Right? Keep going.
Verse 11. And whoso falleth not down and worship it, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
So if you don't worship this God at this specific time, you're going to get put to death. Go ahead and read verse. My friend, keep going.
Okay. Verse 12. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
And so they said, "No, I'm not about that life. You go ahead. You can go ahead and heat up that furnace now. I'll get the gasoline for you because I'm not about to worship this image. I'm not doing that." The Jews specifically at this time, Daniel and his cohorts said they're not going to do that. So keep going.
Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kind of music, ye shall fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach.
He's thinking he's the big bad man. Who's gonna deliver you out of my hands, or what? Out of the fiery furnace? Because he's basically saying the God of what the Bible, the God of the Israelites, isn't going to save you. He's not stronger than me. Like I'm the first and the last. That's what he's going into saying, right? He thinking he's big bad. Now go to jump to because we all know what happens here. They get cast into the fiery furnace. So let's go to the part where that happens. Go to let's just go to the conclusion of the matter, right? Go to verse 23.
Okay. Verse 23. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake, and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast three men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see four men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the fourth is like the Son of God.
Like the what?
The Son of God.
Like the Son of God. Somebody was in the midst of. I mean, it could be Hawashai, could be an angel who bound them from their shackles or rope, whatever they had bounding them, and freed them from it, and they didn't get hurt from the flames. They was in the furnace and nothing happened. Why? Because their God saved them. From what? From death. These people can make all these unrighteous decrees to have you worship an image or worship whatever golden god or whatever thing they want you to, and say if you don't worship this, you're gonna die. But if you stay truthful and stiff on the word of the Lord, He will save you out of that. You'll get that crown. You'll get that crown of salvation. You'll get that rulership. You'll get that rulership then. Give me that in James chapter 1 verse 12.
Okay. This is James chapter 1 and verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
Endure what?
Temptation.
Endure temptation. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. Why?
For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him.
You'll get the crown of life. You'll get you'll get the crown of life if you endure the temptation. The temptation is if you don't worship this God or this image, you will die. We see evidence in the Bible. This is why I'm saying it's a faith issue when you compromise your integrity for your life or how you feel or for other people, because you see different evidence in the Bible that shows you people not doing that. People holding steadfast on the truth and not dying and not getting put to death for it. Like Daniel. You read about also in the 3 holy children in the Apocrypha about the prayer that they did. So if we believe in this and we see evidence of people getting brought through this and saved through their tribulation by holding fast to the word, why don't we do that? That's what the prophets, be ye worthy. That's what the prophet said. That's what James said. That's what Yahushua said. If you endure if those who endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Read that verse again. Read verse 12 again.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Slide dropped. Okay, James chapter 1 and verse 12. Okay. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which he shall receive the crown of life.
That's that everlasting life, that crown of life that you're going to get if you survive through the tribulation, if you survive through these unrighteous decrees that Esau is going to be putting out. Because there's going to be a time, like I said it before. It says I'm not going to pull it because you can read it in 2nd Ezra, the whole set. I think it's the last chapter, where it talks about them waging war against the Israelites who keep the law, statutes, and commandments. I'm paraphrasing because it's a whole chapter on it. We'd be reading the whole chapter if we want to talk about it. But it's gonna come a time to where like your faith is gonna get tried. Do you actually believe in this? Like, do you actually stand stiffly on the word? Give me 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 40. Do you believe in what you say you believe in? Are you gonna compromise your integrity? Are you gonna compromise what you believe in to save your life, your child's life, your mom's life, your life? Are you gonna do that? Are you gonna compromise that?
What chapter you said?
Chapter 2, verse 40.
Chapter 2 and 40.
Yeah, because I'm not putting anybody over my worship of the Lord. No person on this planet over the worship of the Lord. I'm a servant of Him. That's it. That's literally it. That's my whole duty of man, to be a servant unto Him and to believe on His Son, who's going to justify us from our transgressions. That's what we need to do. Other than that, I'm not trying to hear about it, bro. Go ahead.
This is the 2nd Ezra, chapter 2 and verse 40. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord.
They did what?
Which have fulfilled the law of the Lord.
So take that number, O Zion, because really, it also, if anybody knows about this chapter, you can also pair this with what is that? Revelations, where it talks about that great innumerable multitude. That's what this is going into. Right now, it says take that number, O Zion. It's about to go into the 144 and the innumerable multitude. And it says, shut up those that are clothed in white and which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. That's not compromising yourself. Give me Revelations 14, verse, I believe it's verse 2. 14. Let me see. So what's that one where it said not defile themselves?
Oh, you're talking about
verse 14. I mean 14, verse 4.
14 and 4.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women.
They were not defiled with women. That doesn't literally mean if you're not and Matter of fact, in westernized terms of what a virgin is, like not having sex, it has nothing to do with that. This is talking about that wicked woman, that wicked doctrine that you see in various places in the Bible. The evil doctrine, the doctrines of the world, basically things that are contrary to the scriptures. Go ahead.
For they are virgins.
Mm-hmm.
These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth.
So whether the Lamb goes, who's the Lamb? You see that in Revelation chapter 5. It's talking about Yahushua. That's the Lamb. That's the Lamb that was slain for our redemption, for the redemption of Israel. That's the Lamb we're supposed to follow. That's the people. The people following the Lamb is those who are going to be saved, who do things contrary to what the world says, who are set apart, and who actually listen to the Lord God. Go ahead.
These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb.
So they were redeemed among men. What does that mean? Their sins are covered by Yahushua. They were redeemed. That's the ones who are going to be saved. Because if you're not, if you don't believe in Yahushua, or you're just an outright sinner, I just say it like that. If you don't believe in Yahushua, you're just an outright sinner. You're going to die. You're not going to be redeemed by. You're not going to be justified through faith. You're not going to get justified by Yahushua. You're going to get that black stone. It talks about that white stone with a new name on it. That white stone, if you actually know anything about Greco-Roman society, when you were proven guilty, you will get the black stone. If you're proven innocent, you will get the white stone. And that white stone is what? Not guilty. Time served. You get that through believing in Yahushua, that redemption. So if you don't believe in Yahushua, or you're just an outright sinner, you're going to get that black stone. You're going to get put to death. And you're not going to be redeemed. So let's go back to Second Ezra.
Okay. Second Ezra, chapter 2 and verse 40. Take that number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. The number of thy children, whom thou longest for, is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed.
Wait, called from the beginning, predestination. Romans chapter 8, verse 29. That's that predestination it's talking about. Here, the Lord already knows who the elect is. He already predestinated them. They were already called, and hallowed means set apart, made holy, set apart. He already set them apart to be saved. Once that number is fulfilled, like Yahushua, like how it says in the book of Revelations. But if I read that verse again, we're going to go back to Revelations.
You want 14?
What's the last verse you read in Second Ezra?
Oh, it was 41.
Yeah, read 41 again.
It says, the number of thy children, whom thou longest for, is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed.
So it says, see, that number is fulfilled, right? I'm going to read this in Revelation.
Okay.
Matter of fact, you get it because it'd be easy for me to explain it. Start at Revelation 7 from the top.
Okay.
This is a direct parallel to the book of Revelation, chapter 7.
All right, this is Revelation, chapter 7 from the top. And after these things, I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea.
That's that judgment that's supposed to be coming out. Go ahead.
Nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea.
That's basically, like I said before, that's the judgment that's supposed to be dealt out to the planet. Go ahead.
Verse 3, saying, hurt not the earth.
Here's the key point. Hurt not the earth. Don't do anything yet until what?
Neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
So we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. Who is that talking about? The 144. Read the next verse.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed. And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
So they're waiting. They're waiting to the judgments ain't gonna come to Babylon and to the other nations specifically that are named for judgment in the prophets. That's not going to happen until the 144 is sealed. That's why it's imperative that we be out there on the streets and the highways and byways bidding people to the marriage. Because if we don't bid people to the marriage, the judgment ain't never going to happen. We're not waiting on the Lord. The Lord's waiting on us to get right. This is a direct parallel to 2 Ezra chapter 2. And we're going to keep going. It's going to prove it. Now read 41 again in 2 Ezra chapter 2.
Come. 2 Ezra chapter 2, verse 41. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed. Verse 42. I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number.
So upon Mount Zion are great people who we cannot number, right? That's the innumerable multitude.
Right, yeah, from
Revelation 7.
And they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly.
That's Yahushua giving out the crown. Go ahead.
So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing.
Did it what?
These be they that have put off the mortal clothing.
That putting off that mortal clothing doesn't literally mean you taking off clothes and putting new clothes on. That mortal clothing is talking about overcoming the world. Literally overcoming the world. These are the people who've overcome the world. They were born in Babylon, and this whole westernized philosophy that led us away from the Lord. We overcame that and came back to the Lord. That's putting off the mortal clothing, putting off what this world teaches, not being conformed to the world, but renewing our minds in the wisdom of the Lord. That's what putting off the mortal clothing is. Keep going.
And it reads, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of God. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
Now it says, I didn't even know about that. It says confess the name of God, right? Now to everybody who says we don't know the name of God, what do you do with that verse? What do you do with that verse when it says to confess the name of the Lord? Confess the name of God, man. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
Right. Yeah.
What do you do with that verse, bro? But yeah, no, watch this, right? We're showing this a parallel. Get Revelation chapter 7. Stay where you at. Get Revelation chapter 7, verse 9.
This is Revelation chapter 7 and 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne.
That says of all nations, right? Hold up real fast. Then we're going to break that down. All nations, word by word. Now, we saw, according to 2 Ezra chapter 2, that was upon Mount Zion. I was talking about Israel. Now, why did it say all nations? Hold that. Give me Acts chapter 2, verse 5.
Okay. This is Acts chapter 2 and verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews.
Jews, what? Israelites, what?
Devout men out of every nation.
Out of every what?
Out of every nation.
Why are Jews out in every nation right now? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. Go ahead and get that for me real quick.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
John, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, right? That's the blessings and the cursings. Now, that what we just read about the Israelites being scattered is a curse for transgressing the law, statutes, commandments. We know Israel transgressed the laws. So what does that mean? We'd be scattered into all nations. That's why in Acts chapter 2, you see Israelites coming from all nations to do what? Celebrate Pentecost, because that's one of the feasts that we have to come back to in Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 16, which is a law, statute, and commandment. Israel scattered into all nations. So they need to be what? Saved from all nations. Give me Amos 9 verse 9.
Okay.
We're gonna break it all the way down.
Gotcha. Amos 9 and verse 9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations.
He'll command and sift the house of Israel among all nations. So he's gonna come and save us literally from all nations. Go ahead.
Like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
That's pretty much the gist of that one. He's gonna save us from all nations, like how he's gonna sift us like corn is sifted. He's gonna pull us out of all the nations and save us. Now go back to Revelation chapter 7, verse 9 again.
Yeah.
We explain why it's Israel, because Israel has been scattered through the curses into all nations. We see in Acts chapter 2, Israel was still scattered from OT prophecy all the way to Acts chapter 2, and even to this day, Israel is still scattered because we're underneath the curses. That's why it says all nations. Go ahead.
Okay, Revelation chapter 7 and verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds.
And hold on, stop right there. Kindreds. Can you read my screen real quick?
Okay.
I'm about to pull it up in the Greek. Let's see what that word kindred means. Kindred is phile. What does that say?
Kindred, it says a tribe. In the NT, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob.
That's the kindred that we're talking about. In the NT of the New Testament, all the
New Testament
descending from the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. Who was Jacob's name? What was Jacob's name transferred into? Israel.
Okay.
Israelites out of all his kindreds. Right? Keep going.
Kindred and the people. It's like and people and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
Clothed with white robes and palms in their hand. It says the same exact thing Second Ezra says. Literally, the same exact thing. Go back to Second Ezra chapter 2.
Second Ezra chapter 2 and verse 42.
Start at verse 45.
Oh, it's like in verse 45. He answered and said unto me, these be they that have put up the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of God. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
They receive crowned and receive palms. The same exact thing. This is talking about Israel in context. If you read this, like how we already read before.
Right.
Go ahead.
Then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of God, whom they have confessed in the world.
It's the Son of God who they confess. That's Yahweh Shai in the Old Testament. The Son of God who they confessed. Who is that? Like if you're OT only, I think most of them believe in the Apocrypha. How do you deal with that? You confess.
Man, they're gonna be.
That's good. I want to pull that on OT only. But go ahead.
It says that, and it says, then began I greatly to command them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord.
You did what?
Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord.
They stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord that everything comes full circle. Those people getting saved, those people getting crowned, put off the mortal clothing, are those who stand stiffly for the name of the Lord. Stand stiffly for the name of the truth. That's what it is, bro. Having that integrity, standing stiffly for the name of the Lord. Not compromising, not conforming to the world, not saying, oh, well, it's just one day, the Lord ain't gonna give me. Having integrity and standing stiffly for the Lord. Do you either want this or you don't want this? You want the salvation or you want the missile, man? So I know people eat the missile. I'm not gonna lie. Even in because people will use the word truth real loosely. I mean truth by being a practicing Israelite and keeping the law. That's what being in the truth is. A lot of people in that is going to get put to death, bro, because when the cameras go off and some niggas leave camp, they take off the camp shirt, they put the nigga shirt back on, bro. They eating El Pastor and the pork chop.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, but it's true.
It's true, bro. We're behind closed doors worshiping El Idol, man.
All right.
I'm just joking. Well, not really. I'm really not joking. But it's kind of funny though.
Yeah.
Read the last verse.
Verse 48. It says, "Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things, and how great wonders of the Lord thy God thou hast seen."
So he saw what? He saw the 144 and the innumerable multitude of Israelites that are scattered from all over the world being saved. He said, tell them about this. And he tells you how to get this. He tells you how to be a part of this by standing stiffly for the name of the Lord and being integral. And being an integral instrument in this truth. So with that, I'm going to say, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and I hope the world was edified. The world of Israel, cosmos, right? With that, I'm going to say shalom.
Shalom.